striking? Can I get a ooh? Ooh, thank you very much. She certainly is. So, I'm going to point out some things at the front. You might notice, around the Honda badge, there's a bit of a blue effect. Okay, so that is now telling people that this is one of our electrified range, because it's an electric vehicle. Okay, she has a 1.5 petrol engine, but that engine is there to power a generator to put power into the battery to drive the electric motor. It is a petrol-powered electric vehicle. Does that make sense? You don't need to plug it in. You will never run out of charge halfway in the drive, because when the hybrid battery starts to go down, the petrol engine fires up on its own and charges the battery via a generator. So very, very rarely does that engine actually drive the car. But it's an electric vehicle and is self-charging. Does that make sense? You don't have to plug it in. That's the thing. About 2% of the time when you're driving, when you're cruising at higher speeds, the petrol engine will run the wheels directly then. That's very, very rare. Because you think about it, when you're high-speed cruising, you've done all the hard work to get to that speed, haven't you? You get on the motorway, you go up through the gears, and you accelerate until you get to 70, and then what do? You lift off, and you just have light throttle. Because you're just keeping it at 70, aren't you? You've done the hard work. So that's when the petrol engine is efficient to drive the wheels. The rest of the time, it is the electric motor, either an electric only or hybrid, where the petrol engine is running a generator to put power in the hybrid battery to power the motor. Right? So basically, self-charging, petrol-powered electric vehicle, you don't need to plug it in. It charges itself when it needs to, when you're driving. Right? So, what else have we got? Straight away, you see the striking new grille at the front, colour coordinated. Okay? If you didn't like that, because it is a preference, personal preference, there is going to be a black option available in accessories. Okay? And that will also have the same effect around the fog lamp set. So brand new to HRV as well, we're going to have parking sensors front and rear. Just about see them. And there's one in there, and there's one there, and one there. And that's standard on all models. Okay, so we've got 3 models in the range. We're going to begin with the Elegance. And you see on some of your handouts that you have, there's a bit of a walk up there. This is the Advanced, the mid one, and then there's going to be the Advanced Style, which will be the top of the range, okay? So this Advanced, you've got lots of kit on there, but I could be here 3 hours if I was to tell you about it, so I won't. I'll just give you a brief one. What else can we tell you? Brand new LED lights. Now, lights are very important. If you've got LED lights, you're going to see clearer and you're going to see brighter. And if you can see further, you can anticipate better. And all good driving is anticipating. So let's have a look at just how funky these are. You'll notice the middle section doesn't light up, because that is your 4B. And if you have a look at our new sequential indicators, ooh, can I get a ooh, good on. And they go in the direction the car's turning, so it's intuitive for anyone sitting there. Alright? Wonderful. Excellent. What else have we got? So, visibility-wise, we've done a lot of work. She is a little bit shorter than the previous one, but the seating position, you would actually be 10 centimetres higher. How do we do that? Engineering. We are an engineering company that happens to have a car making division. That's what I like about Honda. Things to point out here then. So smaller A-pillars, so we have more visibility out. Okay? We make sure the wipers are below the windscreen, so it doesn't affect visibility there either. What we've also done, something we've had on CRV EX for a while, we have heater elements under the resting position of the wipers. So in the months to come, when your wipers get frozen to your windscreen, what you tend to do is put them on, and then it rips them, and then it doesn't clear your screen properly, and then you have to come and replace them, because that's an MOT failure. So, the heated element, you press the button, it's going to melt the ice around it, it's going to free the blade, and that blade is then going to be able to clear your screen so you can safely drive off. But not only is that heater element underneath the wipers, it actually comes up the side here as well. Because you think about it, we drive on the proper side of the road over here, don't we? We know that. So as the wipers do that, all that stone would be piling up here. So we're going to melt that away so you can see where you're going. Wonderful. This, I want to point out, is your multi-purpose camera. This is responsible for your sensing suite, so that your advanced safety technologies that we have at Honda. There's a list of different things there. Again, you do have a list on your paper, but please see the guys and they can go through that with you. I'll tell you just a couple of them. Some of the features we have there are collision mitigation braking system. What's that? Well, in Honda, what I like is when we name something, you read it backwards and tells you what it does. So this is a system that brakes for you and mitigates your chances of a collision. Vehicle stability assist, what does that do? It assists the stability of your vehicle. Easy, don't you know? Road departure mitigation mitigates the chances of you leaving the road. So it gives you an idea of what they do, and again we can go into more detail if you want. That all runs from there. These little things here, that's your light sensors, your rain sensors. So things for your auto headlights, and something called high beam support system. What do you reckon that does? Supports the use of your high beam. Okay, so basically if it's dark enough and you haven't got your full beam on and it can't detect any cars anywhere, she'll put your full beam on for you. Now about 80% of the time when we're driving, we do not use our full beam when we could. Even if it's for a few seconds or half a minute, we just don't bother. We don't bother, or we're worried it might blind the car coming the other way, something like that. Well, this will thicken and out, it will detect ambient light, it can detect cars coming towards you, and will automatically put it down. If you can see further, you are going to drive safer. That's the thing. Okay? What else have we got? We've got, you might notice, much bigger door mirrors than previous HRV as well. Again, added visibility, but not just that, because if we just made them bigger, you would lose this little vision here. So we've moved it further down the door as well, so you keep that visibility as well as a bigger mirror. Okay? Can I ask you just to sweep around a little bit? We're going to have a look at the side now. Spend too long on the front. She's mine, you know. Excellent. What we'll do, show you, when you do get a chance to have a look around, and you know we've got a little etching up here, a little icon in the corner. Now that's a feature called blind spot information. Guess what that does? Gives you information about your blind spot. Okay? So, this is brand new technology, as I say. We've had this on the top two models. We've had this with other Hondas previously, but introduced it now. So what blind spot information does, we have two radars above the rear wheels, one on the bump here, one on the other side. This radar has a detection area of 3 meters this way, 3 meters that way. Funny enough, your blind spot. So what happens is, when people drive into that area, that light will light up and glow orange, solid. And that's just telling you, hey, there's someone there. If I then were to indicate, as if I was about to pull out in front of that car, it will flash a beam to tell me not to do so. Okay? So, brilliant, brilliant feature. You can turn it on and off. All of this stuff you can turn on and off. Don't be afraid by turning. If you don't want to use it, don't. If you do, enhance, please use it. Now, because of this system, it gives us another technology called cross-traffic monitor. Guess what that does? It monitors the traffic crossing behind you. So, the radars are here, detection zone here. So imagine I'm parked in Waitrose Park, and I've got a panel van here, and I've got a panel van here. I can't see to reverse out. So if anything crosses behind me into these detection zones, it's going to let me know, so I stop, put it out, and don't get hit as I'm reversing out. Clever again. Okay, the standard on the first two models. 18-inch wheels are going to be available. This is the standard wheel that will be on all models, and there are different styles available on your accessories. Okay. We have keyless access and entry, so I can have that key fob in my pocket. There are sensors in the car that know that I'm within 80 centimetres. So when I'm standing here, see, when I'm standing here, all I have to do, put my hand in so I lock it. To lock it again, I just have to press 3 little ridges here. Press that once, and she will lock and you hear it. If I press it again, Yeah, did you hear that as well? Secondary clunk. That's called a deadlock or a super lock. Okay, so it's locked on the first one. So what's it one to do the second one? Does anyone know? What does a deadlock mean? We've had it for quite a few years. Breaking, yeah. If someone were to smash the window, they still could open the door from the inside if we put an extra bolt across there to save it. Yeah. And all I've got to do to open it is that, and then we go. Ones have 3-stage door openings to stop gusts of wind flow and the door open as well. So the first one's there, look, it's sort of settled into position there, so I can get in there, look. Second one's there, my ex can get in there. But she's very, very practical. It's a utility vehicle, we know you're going to use it. Coming up the side, you see the hidden door handle there. Nice that way, and then obviously it opens up. And again, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you can, would you mind coming round, maybe both sides, I'll open the back door so you can see inside of that. And again, let's have a look later when you get a bit more right. Come on, okay. So, at the moment, I've got the seats down there, the magic seats. You're aware, such as HRV for a while have had our magic seat system. You can fold down, back, fold up, and all sorts. It's just literally put it up, seat squat, rocking the legs down in place, it's done. The other side. And it's so roomy, you can actually walk through the car. Because we know that's what you want to do. No, it isn't. But if you do that in front of your neighbour, I promise you they will go look at their car and they'll say, I can't do that. It's huge. Look at the space. What we've also added to HRV is at the rear of the centre console, there are vents now to keep the rear passengers nice and cool or nice and warm. And below those vents, there are 2 USB ports, 2.5 amp now, so much more power for kit in the back. In fact, the front has got 2.5 ones as well. There is one with a symbol of the phone. You've got to use your phone in our system, connect it to that one because it allows more data through quicker as well. Okay, so there's your magic seats. We've also got in the back pockets of the front seats, there's an extra little pocket for mobile phones. To actually stick mobile phones separately there so they don't get hidden and all the stuff in there. What I will call your attention to now is the rear spoiler. This is just for show, it does help with aerodynamics, which is going to help with your CO2, which is going to help with your miles per gallon as well, so effective. We also have, again, under the heater element, under the wiper blade, the heater element goes up and down, covering a greater surface area, so that's going to free that one up as well. And before we go into the boot, I'm going to show you our brand new light bar. Now, 4 out of 5 accidents are what we call nose-to-tail shunts. So if you can let someone behind you know that you're braking, you're going to reduce that risk. So I'll show you just how effective our brakes and our light bar is. So there's your lights. Don't get them. Ooh. All right. And there's the brakes as well on and off. Okay. I will put the indicators on. They're not LED at the back, but they're right in the corner there. And some people say, well, they're a bit small, but I promise you, if you're standing there, now I've closed that door, you see both indicators, don't you? You know it's turning right. And likewise, if you're here, you know that's turning left. It's all on the same height if you're in the car behind as well. So we've thought about that. You have the blue effect around the Honda badge, like the front. Honda electric vehicle, HEV there. And on the above, and again, you can just about see the parking sensors, like really well hidden, but they are there for you. Now, again, I've got the key fob on me. Just turn those hazards off, save that battery. Right. I've got the key on me. As long as I waggle my foot in between the number plate, and I'm not standing too far, right next to it, I'm not too far away, I'm just about there. I'll just give it one of them. It's not side to side, it's back and forward, and she lifts up for you. Okay, and then you can get the stuff out. What we would say is please do not manually close these because you'll be working against the motors. Okay, so please use a button, or there's a button on your key fob, or there's even a button on the dashboard by the driver's knee. You can adjust the height of this if you've got canoes in your garage or a low garage roof or something. How you do that is once you would manually put it down to the level you require, gently, and then you would press and hold the button until it beeps. And that's it. It will only ever raise to that event there. To reset it, you would have to manually push it, but say you wouldn't do that too often, would you? You'd probably set it once to the height you require and leave it. But I will reset it back to the top. The last thing I want to show you is the driver's area. We've done a lot of work on the front seats. A few people have mentioned that the work for the seats weren't as comfortable as they would have liked, so we've done a lot of work on the springs and the support and the cushioning on the front two seats. You should feel a marked difference there. We've also now got on this bar and above a heated steering wheel as well, nice for the winter. We have an added function in the middle, just where the gear lever is, if you like. There is a button with a picture of a car going down a hill. That is something we call hill descent control, which controls your descent down a hill. What does that do? Well, if you are living in areas where you go down big hills constantly, you tend to be on the brakes all the time. If you do that, your brakes are going to get very hot, and then you won't have any brakes there available. It's called brake fade. So what this does, if you press that button and you are descending for a length of time, rather than just putting the brakes on and getting them really hot, they will flick between the 4 brakes randomly, switching on and off, on and off, on and off. That will descend your control will descend nice and safely without them getting all hot, and you losing that capability. Does that make sense? Excellent. And just in front of that button, there's a little toggle switch called drive mode. Now, if you're driving Hondas before, you've probably been aware of our Econ button. Okay, so that's similar. We have an Econ mode, we have a normal mode, just get in and drive it, or we can put it into a sport mode. What the sport mode does is enhance the output of the electric motor. It's an electric vehicle, so it makes it a little bit more on the performance side. It's good for overtaking on motorways, it's good for pulling out of junctions safely, should you need that little bit more drivability there. Okay, wonderful. The infotainment system in the middle is the next generation. It is a Garmin Sat Nav system there, the world's biggest provider of Sat Nav, so we use the most popular one. And that can do Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you can play movies on it, you can connect to the internet if you wish, digital stereo, USB, you can play movies off the USB stick, etc. So lots of capability there as well. And one of the last things I want to bring your attention to is, if you look at the corner of your dashboard, you have this little right angle vent there, a new vent system. So if you turn the knob to the 12 o'clock position, that will activate these side vents, and they go past the driver's shoulder and the passenger shoulder and help vent out the rear a little bit more. And they also cause the front 2 seats, the cabin area there stays at exactly the same temperature. It doesn't fluctuate very much at all, so it's much more comfortable to drive on longer journeys. All right. And the other thing I want to briefly mention is something called My Honda Plus. So you can get an app on your phone, and I can use my phone as my key to get into the car. I can get information about the car on my phone. I could even let someone else drive the car, even if I had the key and I was miles away. I could use this app and they could get in the car and drive it. I could even put a perimeter. So I could say, right, if the car goes outside a 10-mile radius from where it is now, I will be alerted on my phone. So if someone was driving my car, I knew if they were taking a minute is driving to Scotland and back or something. Excellent. So lots and lots of communication and technology there if you wish. I will leave it there because I want you to get in and have a look. Ask some questions for the guys. There are some handouts and info, but as I say, get yourself down on that test drive. I want you to drive the car and see for yourself. It's wonderful. Thank you for your time. I will let you on. Okay. From where the car is.
Hello, I'm good. How are you? You like it? You do?